It's amazing. It's amazing. Changed my life. But at the time when you're like coming from, with your heels to like people screaming their heads off and going, ooh, 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 and then, it was a bit weird. So I was just like, oh, could it? And then, it goes boom. And then everybody sits down. I was like, what, why? And they're like, silence. And I'm like, and then somebody starts snoring and they get kicked out. You're not allowed to sneeze, cough, fart, do anything, snore, because you're not meant to fall asleep. You're meant to meditate. And I didn't know what silence meant, right? And at the end of every single meditation, actually, there was a silence. And I didn't know what that was. I'm like, okay, so you sit in silence. I'm sitting, I'm thinking, okay, so la, la, la. What are people thinking? What is silence? I didn't understand it. But that's the thing. They don't explain anything to you. I get out of there, and I go to the next one. And I remember, which one was that? I think it was like Laugh and Cry. So, again, it's in another place, right? Because this place is like it's like its own little village with different locations and different meditations. And you choose, it gives you what time, what meditation is. But again, as I said, you don't have to do it. So I go, and this one is like, they're laughing, and I'm like, and they're like, and then you start really laughing. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, okay, what is going on with me? Because what happens is you get out of your body. And so and then they start crying. Like they put this music on, and it's so sad that that vibration gets you, and you're like, oh my God, my life, my this, my that, bong. And that's like, ha, 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 ha. So it's up and down, ha, 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 ha. And you get out of it and you're like, what the hell just happened? Right? Oh my God. So that was quite an experiment. But my favorite one was called the drums. And so you go to that place again, the one where there was 50 people. Because in most meditations, there were like maybe 5, 10 of us. But in the big room, it was like, so the drums is like that. So you're standing, and it goes, dee, dee. Again, no explanation, right? And you have to wear those things. And you just have to, you vibrate like that. You're like doing this. Okay, so you see me. So you're like doing that, right? You're like shaking. And then it goes, dee, 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 and it goes faster and faster and faster. And so by the end of it, you're like, for like 1 hour. No, I'm lying. For 40 minutes, because the last 20 minutes is silence. It's like, and it starts shaking. But the thing is, you start shaking and you're like, oh God. But then what happens is something kicks in, you guys, and it's incredible. It gets you out of your body. I know I said I'm going to talk about frequency, but I need to tell you this experience, this thing. And you just start vibrating with the frequency of the sound and like shaking, and you feel so incredibly good. And bong, and then you have to do the silent again. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you the whole experience, but I just wanted to like tell you about that. There was other classes as well. One class was so funny because it was literally just silence, right? For 45 minutes, you had to sit in this bloody room. It was his room, beautiful. And they had this very like low music, and you had to sit in silence. And I had no clue what silence was. Like I would be like peeking and seeing people like completely. And I was like thinking, God, like my back is hurting. I need to walk, what the hell? And because there was no explanation of anything. But you see, now what I understand, I did this and I stayed a whole month, you guys. I did 3 weeks of all of them. And by the end, I was like, doing all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, Wonder Woman. It was amazing, but I still didn't get the silence. I didn't understand it. But what I did understand after, because like when I finished from India and I went home, I was like, you know what? I want to understand what silence is. So every single day, I swear to God, for 8 months, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would sit for 45 minutes. I mean, I didn't miss a day because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. And I'm going to be consistent. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, fudge this. I got to, like, I don't want to do this. But I have to. I want to. I want to see, I want to get to that level. What is silence? So I'd be like, silence, silence. So every day, wherever I was, I'd be like, okay, it's 4 o'clock, I need to go. And I would sit and I'd breathe, take a deep breath, and I'd breathe again, you know, and then I'd be like, I wouldn't whistle, but like, you know, like these songs would come in my head and all this stuff. And then I thought, what if I started saying no thought? I don't know, maybe it's about thoughts not being there. Because like doing it over, see, I was conditioning my mind to know that at that time, I was going into silence. So my intention was that I was going into silence. So I guess your subconscious kicks in and is like, okay, wake up. This is silence. You really want to know what it is? You've earned it. Silence is when you actually allow your brain to have no thought. And you are concentrating on your breath and you actually are just somewhere else. So 8 months, you guys, 8 months. And then one day I'm sitting there and I'd like my body's here, right? But I'm like somewhere else. And because it's the unknown, I was like, shit, like where am I? And then I went back into my body. I was like, damn, that felt so good. Because I was in complete silence. My brain was not thinking. There were no thoughts. My body was like, I felt so good. God, I'm just, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. And I thought, I'm so glad I did this. I can't stop. I need to do it again. It became my drug. I loved it. It still is. I do it all the time. Like you can't, once you know it and you get to it, and this is what I teach people now, but not, you know, at first I was like, you got to do 45 minutes. And they'd be like, oh my God. And then I just learned, you know, through time, from 2010 till now, I've been like guiding people and teaching people and I've learned different methods to do it. So because it's very, 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 very hard to just sit and, you know, and I'm somebody who's like, I'm all over the place. They call me Duracell because my energy literally, and it was literally shattered. Like my energy was all over the place. Now I still have the energy, but at least it's focused on one thing at a time, which is great. But it took me, 20 million years, like from 2010 until we're 2024, to really get this, like, but it's, you see, it is consistency. So this is what I was going to say to you about raising your vibration. Meditation. Meditation is very, very important. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, you guys, right? Just sitting there, knowing that when you're taking a deep breath, you're like allowing all this light and connection to everything, because we are connected to all that is. We are connected to source. We're connected to everything around us. We are literally in a cobweb of energy, right? This is it, and we are all connected. Like spider, right? Like a spider, yeah, whatever that is. Not web. And so meditation, even if it's 5 minutes a day, just being able to, telling yourself no thought, no thought, no thought, no thought, practicing it is so beneficial, because what will happen is all those thoughts that you have in your mind, and it's okay at first, I know it's going to be hard, but so that is incredible, because what it does do to your mind is we have like, when we're young, our left and right hemisphere are connected with a bridge. And with time, what happened? That's why we're so like, hey, woo, I'm not scared of anything, yay! And we're not afraid of anything. And then we grow up, and we have, you know, society and conditioning, and don't do this and don't do that and the whatever. So we start, our brain, that bridge starts to fade, and then we start functioning through the left and the right. So we start deriving from fear, we start having thoughts, so on and so forth. Anyway, so meditation, try it. It is amazing. You know, try and find, please, if you do want to meditate on some sound, please try a 4-3-2 and not a 4-4-0. Or even if in silence, chant, do a om, do a something. I will help you through it. I'm just, you know, we're talking about how to raise your frequency. Now, another thing that I love, I just like cherish this to do, is writing gratitude. We have so many things to be grateful for, like so many things, right? And to be honest with you, I started at April, 2012? Yeah, 2012, April 4th, I'll never forget it, I started doing my gratitudes. And I've talked to you about this last year. So writing my gratitudes, what I do is I write 10 a day. And I read them out loud. Why do I read them? Okay, so when you're grateful, you got to be grateful for things that you have, and you got to be in the present. And a lot of people are like, you know, this is so hard. Like, we have so much to be grateful for, but we just take it for granted, you see? Until you start writing it down, you don't realize how much we have to be grateful for. And we do. So I started writing my gratitudes. That is another thing to raise your frequency. Can you imagine starting the day with you writing, I'm grateful for life, I'm grateful for my body, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for food in the fridge, I'm grateful for a roof over my head, I'm grateful for being able to walk, talk, listen, hear, see, whatever, you know, I'm just grateful to be alive. There's so much to be grateful for. And then you can also start, and what you do is you write 10 gratitudes for 21 days, because so you can pick up the pattern. And again, I'm going to tell you this, I've told you this before, and I say this to everybody. A lot of people by the 7th day, like magic starts happening. And what do? They're like, oh, I got this, I got to stop. What happens? I can't stress it enough, you guys. It's like a wheel going up a hill. The wheel is going up the hill. The wheel's going up the hill, right? So it's like, so if you stop, what's going to happen? Do you like my sound effect? It's going to roll down the hill so fast that if you started here, you're going to be here. So you got to be consistent. It's got to be part of your life. It's got to be a lifestyle. You guys, when you decide to go into this, you can't just be like, oh, you know, I'll take it for a month and then not. No, you got to do this every day. And honestly, you'll become addicted. Because you'll feel like, if I don't do it, oh my God, something's missing. And to start your vibration on being grateful, do you know how beautiful that is? Being grateful for everything, anything, everything. Things, you know, that happened yesterday. Things, you know, grateful for my brother coming today, which he is. I'm grateful for seeing my mother. I'm grateful that, you know, for the people I have in my life. I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for just simply being who I am. I'm grateful for being here with you today. I mean, just that, just saying it, that gratitude, you feel it. So if you were to write it down, this is why I say write it down and then read it out loud, because you're using the thought process, you're using the frequency of writing it, but you're also, when you're saying it, you are using the frequency of sound, which you are telling yourself and the universe. It's very, very powerful. Try it. So 21 days, I usually like to do them in the morning or at night. So it depends. Sometimes because I don't have time at night, so you know, and I don't want, because like the day's full and whatever, and I don't want to forget. what I do is every morning, the second I wake up, I read my gratitudes that I've done before, because you have to read them. And then I write my 10 great things I'm grateful for, and then I read it the next day. Does that make sense? So you can, whatever way works for you. And then you start again 21 days later. Now, you'll find that there's a lot of repetitive things that you're going to be grateful for, and that's okay. It's okay. As long as you're grateful for them, who cares, right? And then also what you can start doing is manifesting while you are giving gratitude. So for example, I'm grateful for my success in my work. I'm grateful for all the money flowing into my life, like the oxygen that I breathe easily and always accessible. I'm grateful for my beautiful home in Bali. And I say that because I really want to go to Bali, go back to Bali. For my beautiful home in Bali, next to this, overlooking the beautiful mountains and the rice fields. I'm grateful for whatever it is that you want, but it's got to be in the present. And by being grateful for it, you're actually putting it out into the universe, that you're grateful for that, So that's gratitude. So we've talked about meditation. We've talked about gratitude. Now another thing that will another thing that will help raise your vibration is affirmations, which we do. We did the first one a few days ago. Now you guys, affirmations are incredible because we all tend to not know our self-worth, and we are worthy. You're all worthy. You're all exactly beautiful and great and amazing the way you are. You don't need to change for anybody but yourself.
We've been fighting for so many years, thinking small, wrapped in fear. So much confusion, let's make it clear. I think it's time for a change.
So when you're affirming to yourself something, even if you don't believe it,
we've been fighting for so many years, thinking small, wrapped in fear. So much confusion, let's make it clear. I think it's time for a change.